What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to That's Delivered. I'm your host, Truckin' Ray, and today we've got another powerful conversation as a part of our Women in Trucking series. This month, we're going to be featuring women connected in the African American Women in Trucking Association, also known as AUTA. The goal of this series is simple: to share real stories, real experiences, and hopefully inspire more women to explore careers in trucking. Today, I'm joined by two incredible guests, Shermila William and Asia Patrick. Both of these ladies serve our country in the military before finding their way into trucking. Shermila brings years of trucking experience and a unique perspective now that she's stepped away from life behind the wheel. Asia is currently hauling flatbed freight and is doing it while 8 months pregnant, which is impressive all by itself. What makes today's conversation even better is that these two already know each other. So we're going to have some real talks, some real laughs, and hopefully some stories people won't hear anywhere else. Shermila, Asia, welcome to That's Delivered. Hey, how you guys
Hi.
doing? Really nice to have you
Good.
on.
I made it. I made it.
Yeah, you did. I mean, traffic is always unpredictable. You don't know what to expect, and I'm really glad you guys pushed through. I mean, not to really make emphasize it, but you're here also, Asia. I mean, you're dealing with a lot too. You're expecting, and time is moving along pretty fast, and you're also under the weather. So, man, I really appreciate you being on the show. How are you
Yes,
feeling?
literally. Yeah, and I came in with treats. I came in with treats.
Oh,
Feeling
wow.
good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to see two women pushing through the industry, making things work. I mean, you guys have done it all. I mean, the military to trucking. I mean, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, we'll start with Sharmila. I mean, what is it like for women to be in the trucking industry? Tell us what you've been doing and how you've got to where you are today.
So, it's funny. I started I got my CDL first as a bus driver. I wanted to drive the school buses. I was a mom. Yeah. I was a mom of six, and I figured, hey, if I drove buses, the schedule was a little better for me. But right after I decided not to, I went back to school, got my associate's degree. I'm weird, but I got the associate's degree on the medical side. And right after graduating college, I decided to join the military. Funny story. And I literally went with my daughter and my nephew to sign them up, and I ended up joining before them. And I joined before them. So as far as with trucking, I thought it would be the cutest thing to be a female truck driver. And that's what made me decide to get the job as a truck driver in the military. They actually, when the military comes in, they actually paid for, at the time they had this program called Drive for the Guard. And they paid for me to go to trucking school. They paid for my board, they paid for my room and board, and they actually paid for the classes because they was trying to get more people on the industry side. And that was before they started taking like waivers for us being truck drivers within the military. That's before the state of Georgia started taking like waivers as a truck driver. So I had to learn how to drive on the stick shift, which I thought was easy. I thought it was easy. that crap's not easy. No. Learning how to float gears and being in a stick shift truck, I was like, oh my God. And it was weird because on the military side, all of our vehicles are automatics. They're
Really?
not, yes, all of our vehicles are automatic. So it's easy for like other soldiers to get their license, their CDL license now because they offer waivers, but they do have restrictions, which that restriction is they can only drive an automatic. If they don't know how to drive a stick shift, then they have to go to school for that to learn how, because it's like I said, you have to learn how to float gears, you know, have to learn how to do those different things. And it it's not as easy as it sounds. And being a female, I was the only female at the time in my class,
Well,
in my truck driving class. And as I'm driving, I didn't see a lot of females on the road. I see more females now. I'm like, damn, what was all, you know, it's like, where's all these women when I was out here? I see a lot of females now in the trucking industry, and I absolutely love it. But when I was driving, it was not that many.
mm,
And I wouldn't say it was at an advantage at some point, because you know,
here I come.
guys, some guys are willing to help you out when you have issues, but then again,
Some,
I
some,
do say some. I do mean, and I
some.
say that lightly. But I know a lot of people had a concern about it as far as being a female driver, you know, in a male dominated industry and being out there alone on the road. I can honestly say I was never alone. And I don't mean it was because I had somebody with me, but I had somebody with me, if you know what I mean.
I got you. Yeah.
Never really alone. But the military really, I feel, helped prepare me as far as knowing what to look for, as far as having a breakdown. Thank God I never had to change a tire by myself. But hey, if I had to, I knew how to, because those are things that we had to learn as truck drivers in the military: how to change tires, how to strap down
Mount, dismount.
equipment, you know, how to get out of the truck properly. And that's how a lot of injuries start. Um, some folks have on the civilian side and on the military side, is learning how to properly get in and out of your vehicle
Right.
or in and out of your truck, because you can pull a hamstring, you can sprain your ankle,
Dislocate your shoulder.
exactly. You know, because they're like, oh, I'm gonna pull up, then it's like it causes a lot of strain and stuff. And also being fit,
Mm,
and because you're literally like sitting down for hours on top of hours on top of hours. So learning how to stretch and also eat properly,
mm,
like literally, that is a big thing. Is like, you know, that goes in the tail with how you're driving and your lack of sleep. And I think that was one thing I had to get used to too, is sleeping on a truck. Not that I had a problem with it, it's just like being alone. And I'm so used to like hearing the, you know, I'm a mother, so you know, every little noise when we're not home, we hear. And especially being in the military, it's like, hey, wait, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And
We need to
so,
get up. We need to go do something. Be in formation right now.
oh God, that was that. And and then also I was driving while in the service. I'm out of the service now. I did 17 years. But
service.
taking off time and going to drive, like driving and then having to take off to go to drill or go to our 2 week training, it was it could be a little challenging. It could be definitely a little challenging.
Wow, man. So that is a great task you took on, serving the country. I appreciate you doing that. Asia, how about you? What was it like for you getting into trucking, starting out? Maybe was it a good transition from the military? We'll see what it was like for you.
Pretty much the same. I didn't have to do the manual class. I I got into 88 Mike school because uh, they offered a bonus. They were like, here's $10,000 if you want to be a truck driver in the military. I said, sign me up. They'll pay for college. I got my college paid for. And I said, I'll sign on the line. So I figured once I graduated college, I'd change my MOS, but I never did. And like Shermila said, there's restrictions. There's only automatics in the military. So back in 2020, I decided to go and get my civilian license and thought that I would have a restriction, but thankfully, I guess I just slipped under the radar
You
and
did. If you
I
don't.
did and didn't get a restriction on my license. But everything that I've been on the civilian side has been automatic anyways. So since 2020, I've done I worked with a construction company. I've hauled equipment, dump wagons, dump trucks, logs, open top trailers, closed trailers, flatbeds, like you name it, I've done it. And I think for me, the hardest transition from the military side to the civilian side was, like you said, you always had somebody in the truck with you in the military. You always had 3 people ground guiding you. Like it was idiot proof, even though some people were still proven idiots. But when you go from having all of that, all those eyes to help you ground guide and park, to just being you on the civilian side, you have to get out and look and have situational awareness for your truck and trailer.
Definitely.
So that was a little tricky, but once I got used to that, I mean, right, exactly. I can do more backwards than I can forwards, probably. So.
Oh my
Tell me about the
God.
logging. That's man. So logging, that's not something everyone does. Tell us about that.
I've hauled full length, I've hauled double rack. I guess that's where the military side kind of set me up for. You have to have a certain like thrill seeking kind of personality to be in trucking, one. And two, I guess to be in the military, I mean, you can't
I don't know now, because
okay, well,
anyway. But
certain people. But so when I got into logging, there's a butt clenching moment of it, especially going down the hills of steep roads and mountains, and
that's what any truck though.
it is. It really is.
But logs is probably worse.
Yeah, because you feel that
Final destination moment.
Well, you don't see it, but you feel like the especially the double rack. You feel the trailer like
the shift and lean. Yeah.
Yes.
You feel it more with that than anything.
So,
that's like even with containers.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
I mean, you're already top heavy, and then your trailer's binding up on you, and you're like, oh my goodness. So I mean, you just gotta Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah, prayer is a powerful thing, boy. Because like, Lord, please just let me get down this stuff. That was me, literally. Every mountain, every hill,
every trail.
God forbid, so I have a fear of bridges. I love them, but I have a fear of them.
Me too.
And I so when I started literally driving over the road, Amani was my dispatcher, and she was my lifeline. I can honestly say she was literally my lifeline. And anytime I was going from Georgia to Texas, sometimes Pennsylvania. Oh yeah. And it's it's going out. I'm on the phone with her, and she literally, she's like, you must be going over bridge. Yes, Lord, I am. Like, please just talk to me. Just, just something. And I hate driving in the rain.
Same.
I absolutely hate driving in the rain. So I will call her when it rained, or I will call her if I'm going over a bridge. So that was my lifeline. And I'm just like, just talk to me, just do something. And I honestly recommend that for anybody, male or female. Like, we have to have that person that we talk to. And she really got me over the fear of bridges. And it was so funny because I took my daughter on a trip with me one time, and she hates bridges as much as I do. So it was even worse. Shermila. It was even worse because she's freaking out, and I'm like, girl, just go to the back of the truck. Like, just go to the back of the truck, put a blanket over your head. Like, I have this, because we were going over a bridge through Ohio, and they were doing construction on both sides.
Oh no, that's the worst. That's the
She,
worst.
it takes her. She's like, I would never do that again.
So
And
Cody has to go over a bridge at Spaghetti Junction, right there
Mhm.
where you live. Like, and
and he
every
probably
time
hates it.
anytime that I hauled for him and hauled chips, I'm like, I'm not going more than 35 miles an hour over this bridge. I don't care. Like, I don't care what you say. I'm not going more than 30 miles
Listen,
an hour over this bridge.
I don't see how some truck drivers do it because I have a fear of tipping over.
Same.
And I'm like, I can only imagine, like, even when I see it with some truck drivers, like at trucking accidents. And I've always, even as a child, I used to hate going past trucks. Like, oh my God, because as a kid, you don't understand the blind spot. But as a driver, you understand it. And a lot of people don't get it. Like, we can't see you behind us. We can't see you in certain, like at the tail, okay, but once you get to that middle portion of the truck, I can't see you until you're like right up on my mirror. And a lot of folks don't get that. But you do have some that do, and they do it purposely because it's like, oh, this is a truck. They look at it as a payday, and it's like these. You got to also look at it like this is somebody's livelihood. This
Yep.
is someone that could possibly lose their license because they're looking at it as a payday, or just not paying attention, or even drivers, like
Yes.
their situational awareness. And as a driver, like I've had a couple of scares because I'm like I would get over, like I normally, I was one that always stayed to my right unless I'm passing somebody. And I've had people literally drive up on the side of me like I see you, thinking like, okay, they're gonna speed past the truck or whatever. And I just made sure that with the military just made me pay a lot more attention to what was around me and my surroundings. And I've had a couple of close scares where people literally ride on my blind spot and I go to get over. Oh, you want to blast your horn? Like, no, go past me. Like,
Yes.
I got over because you're speeding. I can see you 3 cars behind me pulling up fast on me. So I'm going to get over to get out of your way.
Yeah.
But then you get up on me and you stay right there. Like, that's so rude.
My
Can't
husband
figure
has
that thing out. Why can't they just keep moving? I think when they're beside you, they can pace themselves, but they don't see the danger. And in order, they're multitasking. I mean, think about those bridges too that you mentioned. Construction zone. Sometimes they take away the lane, so then it's just the Jersey barriers. I mean, man,
Yes.
it's
I have
tight
no
back
faith.
there.
I no faith, none whatsoever. I listen, it be me, prayer, and my person that's on the phone, like, Lord, just please, I just want to get
Get
up
home.
this bridge
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
please let me
Safely.
get down it
And
safely.
everyone around me get home safely.
Yeah, that
Nice.
is.
Every person too. I like that concept. I like that idea that you mentioned there. I mean, talking about Amani, maybe talk about your journey a little bit with Ada. How did that begin? How did that work for you?
So how me and Amani met, I was working for I had started working for this company. It honestly it went in through bankruptcy. She was a dispatcher there, and again, I'm the only female driver, and they had 4 other drivers. Now, my boss at the time, he was amazing. Like I started driving. He ended up getting an automatic truck for me, and I absolutely love my little green Kenwood truck. Um, but the guys kind of felt some kind of way, and I love them. The guys were they were awesome. They were really really awesome. I could call them if I had any problems. But my boss, he always paid for my parking. He would pay for me to get close up parking because he's like, she's a female. I want to make sure that she's close to the building and we don't have any concerns. And so that's how me and Amani met. Her better half also was a driver. So it was like me, her, a couple of the other, it was three other guys, and Brandon. It was mainly Amani and Brandon that I would literally call all the time if I couldn't get into contact with her because she was busy finding loads for us. I would call Brandon, and those were my two bridge people. They were
Nice.
always my bridge people.
Yeah,
But
and you keep
that's
your
how I'm back in, I want to say 2018, 2019, as her being my dispatcher. And our friendship grew from there. And once the company went out of business, she started her own dispatching company. And we just literally went for there. She was introducing new owners to the trucking industry, and as they were out, getting wanting to purchase truck. And that's another thing, like people wanting to get into the trucking
Still
industry
to this
and
day.
not understanding what all it entails.
That's right.
And she had a lot of a lot of guys that was like, yeah, I want to get in the industry, but they didn't know anything about trucking. They didn't know anything about purchasing a truck. They didn't know anything as far as the maintenance or the
DOT
upkeep,
numbers, insurance,
nothing. And she was great in that. She was great as far as with letting them know exactly what it was that they had to do, even though you could tell them they still wasn't listening or like wanting to fully comprehend it. And me being in the industry and being on the military side, and that's where that came in. Also, like knowing how to properly inspect our vehicles, she would have me go meet with the new owners, some of them that wanted to meet. She would have me go meet with them and like, hey, I need you to go look at this truck for this person. Do you mind? It's like, no, I don't mind. I'll go, And of course, they had to pay me for my service because I'm not. It's either I was cheaper than a mechanic,
right?
But I knew what I was doing. And like I will never forget, it was one guy, he actually bought a truck from a friend and he paid for the truck before he actually looked at the truck.
Oh no.
And when I got there, I told him, I was like, no, this is not what you want. It like the truck was in a bad condition. I was like, I wouldn't even drive this. Like I wouldn't even put nobody on the road in this truck. But when the military came in, like I said, that helped me be able to look at the vehicle, check the tires, the engines, check making sure I'm checking all the belts and the drive shafts and the radiator fluid. And it amazed a lot of folks because it's like, how does this woman know how to do all of this? Like, well, this is what I do in the military. We have to do this. We're responsible for doing our own oil. We're responsible for checking our radiator fluid. We have mechanics in the military, but we also have different levels on to where it's an operator level that we can do those certain things. Like, you guys can call somebody out, change our tires on these trailers and these trucks. But when it comes to us in the military, we had to do that ourselves.
wow.
Or, we had records that came out. And of course, it prepared us for sitting on the side of the road, waiting for somebody to come and change a tire, knowing how to deal with a blowout. That helps a lot. I've experienced that, driving in Texas, yay. Because how hot it gets there, and I'm like, I understand why the speed limit. That was the first for me when I first drove to Texas is the speed limit. I'm like, why is the speed limit so high?
80.
Exactly. But then I understood. Then I understood why, because I'm like, if you're sitting, and I understand why they had so many toll roads, because it's like sitting because it's so hot down there, especially like during the summer times, your tires would literally like melt and pop. So it's like, you got to move at a good speed. But I will say I do miss it. I sometimes have people wanting to go back. But
we got a truck for you.
hey girl, leave me alone. she always tries to get me to go out with her.
Yeah. But Ada, talk about that. I mean, isn't that nice to have an organization that looks out for women? I mean, what do you guys feel about that organization? What does it mean to you?
I wholeheartedly love it because here recently, I mean, like she said, women in trucking nowadays, there's more. But when you're doing stuff like Coward flatbedding, logging, There's still a lot of egotypical men that don't believe women should be in this industry. Even though sometimes we're proven better drivers than a lot of men because we don't take as many risks because we do want to come home to our children at night. I've had my last coworker that I used to work with said they were looking for drivers and they put my name in the hat and just kind of threw my name out there, and they're like, no, we're not going to hire a woman, we're not going to hire a female. Just because, I mean, it is a thing. It is a true thing where guys don't want to be threatened. They don't think that they should have to work next to a female who does their job better than them, or makes it more competition for them, or it makes them look bad, or, I mean.
Well, sometimes it's more the competitive part, but then I've run into where a lot of guys is like, they don't want a female driver because they look at it as somebody being pretty, or they look at it as, oh, we're going to have to help her all the time. We don't want to have to take the time out of our day to try to help assist her with certain things. And I've run into that on the military side and on the civilian side. And I would tell folks all the time, hold on, just because I get my nails done, I get my hair done, and I decide I want to look like a woman, doesn't mean I can't. And I know this side sound bad, but that doesn't mean I can't do the job of a man. I'm gonna look like what I am. I'm gonna look like a female. And that's another thing, is like, it was a lot of female drivers out there, so it was like, oh my God, is that a man or a female? So, and I love that now too, seeing a lot of female drivers. It's like, yeah, they're getting their hair done, they're getting their nails done. And Amani would laugh because on my 10-hour breaks, I would leave, catch an Uber, and go to I was like, dang, I broke a nail, and go to the nail shop, have me a spa day, because I'm sitting there for 10 hours. I don't have anything else to do. Like, yeah, I'm going to go get my nails done and have a drink or whatever. But I can get down and dirty with the best of them. Like, just because my nails are done don't mean that I'm not going to get under this hood and do what I'm supposed to do. So it runs into that too, where it's like a lot of guys is like, no, we don't want female drivers because we got to deal with them not being here for their kids, or them complaining. But it works both ways, because you have a lot of guys that, oh, I want to get home to my family. I need to get home to my family. So that's where I kind of feel like the sexism comes in. I feel like with the support groups, it's just like men need support groups, and they will say they don't, but they do.
They do.
So do women. We all need to, especially in this type of industry, with the danger and the camaraderie and just the need. Like, it's the same. I look at it as a military aspect. It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. Like, we all got to be there to help each other, support each other, and learn new things from each other, because everybody has a different experience. Yes. Everybody has had different experiences. They have different stories that they can tell. Like with me, I got out of trucking for two reasons. One, it was on the medical side. My doctor, I found out that I had a heart condition. My doctor's like, he didn't want me sitting for long periods, and he didn't want me like driving with certain like jerking motions. But another reason was, honestly, I got bored. I was tired of being on the truck by myself. And it's like, I tried to talk to everybody. And that was before you started driving. And, it was to the point where I offered to pay my kids to drive, not even to drive, to ride with me. And they were like, they would go on one trip and it was like, nah, Mom, I don't want to do this. I'm bored. Because they want to be at home. They want to be kids. And, during the summertime, and at the time when I was driving, my kids were teenagers. So, of course, they want to be with their friends. They want to live their life. But I'm sitting there like, wouldn't you rather have money in your pocket than, you can go on this one trip? But my daughter got scared and she was like, nah, I don't want to do that. My son was just flat out like, nah, I'm not doing that. but
What
it
scared her?
was. It get, hmm,
What scared her?
I'm sorry.
Your
The
daughter. What's
bridges.
the bridges
It
again?
was the. He was just like it. Well, she
It
had a
scares
good
me.
experience and she had a bad experience at the same token. Like she was afraid of the bridges, but then we had a breakdown. She was just like, no, I don't want to do it. We had a breakdown where we had a tire blowout.
Was it a
And
steer
then
tire? That's my biggest fear.
it wasn't a steer tire, but it was on the trailer. Not on the trailer, it was on the tractor.
Drive.
And on top of that, the AC went out in the truck.
No,
It was during the summer.
she ain't never getting back in that truck.
It was during the summertime. Oh my God. She was just like, no, no, no. She was like, Mom, you have to go through this. Yes, ma'am. I go through this on a regular, like, she was like, oh no, I cannot do this. And she was like, I don't see how you do it. And I'm like, it's a job.
I
Like,
will say that's how the military did probably prepare us for no AC. Because if the AC went out, we have fans.
gotta
Or
let
we
the
have
windows
we got
down.
to do something.
Yeah, I had a listen, I was prepared. I had a battery operated fan, if anything happened. And not all trucks have the CV units where
You can
it's
talk to
just
somebody.
talking to
Nope.
people. It was a lot. And she was just like, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Mom, I don't see how you do it. My hat's off to you, but yeah, I don't want to go on the truck anymore.
Man, that's
So
amazing. I mean, I'm
being
glad
in
she got
this,
to see that part of you and see why you push hard and what makes you who you are. Being able to adapt to those situations, and that's good for your young ones to see that. I think more young
yes,
ones should be able to go to work with their parents and see all the things they have to deal with just to put food on the table. I mean,
Yes.
man, that's amazing. Great job. You guys keep safety first. What helps you guys to put safety first? I know you have the military background. What are some of the thoughts that go through your mind as a driver that help you to be safe on the road?
getting home.
Yes. Praying over it, getting home. Those inspections. So when we were in the military, I mean, before we even touched the vehicle, you'd have to do a 360. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of
Mhm.
people get lackadaisical. Well, I was in it yesterday. I know
Complacent.
they get complacent. I know what's
Yeah.
wrong with it. But like she said, you go over rough terrain or a bridge and you don't know what your tires catch. And that could be, I mean, a split second decision. So constantly doing the 360, constantly making sure your tires are good. They don't look like they're gonna have a blowout. Making sure your load's safe, it don't shift on you.
No bubbles.
You have all of your straps. They're tight enough. At the end, I couldn't really tighten down my straps and I lost a couple pallets. And I mean, thank God off the trailer, they were safe, but they were still contained. But I mean, accidents happen in a split of a second. So you just have to try to minimize, like, there's regulations and laws out there to minimize all of that. And
For a reason.
if the driver doesn't speak up for themselves, a lot of these companies are gonna push the tires a little bit more than what they should, or maybe like if you have a oversized load, they might not get the licensing or the permitting in time, but they need you to still go deliver that load. No, I'm gonna find somebody else to do it. That's my license. That's my livelihood. If something happens, I'm not covered. Like, and I got to make sure, like, it's definitely taught me patience for sure. I know this child's going to teach me patience, but being on the road as that professional driver, it's taught me patience that, okay, that car's going to do what it's going to do, but I have control over this vehicle. They don't understand how long it takes me to stop this 80,000 pound vehicle or more. So I have to like be the bigger person and just let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, patience is
And
a
like
great
for
quality to
me,
have.
it was
Oh yeah. Patience,
definitely a great commodity.
mercy too. You know, you got to show mercy to these individuals. You see what they're doing. They got the phone in their hand or they're arguing in the car. I tell myself, Hey, I'm glad I'm not in that car. Go ahead.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
What were you gonna
You
say?
you you see a lot up there, and
A lot of different
a,
things. A lot of
you
different things that
you
you
see a
never
lot
thought you'd see.
you see a lot sitting up there, and it's
You
and
see,
it just makes you think like distracted drivers.
It's
And
it's more
yeah,
than
what
just
do
a
you guys
phone in
see
your
most of the time when you're up high like that?
you said what?
Yeah, what do you guys see when you're up high like that?
Oh my God.
Things you never thought you would see.
That type. Some things we probably don't want to talk about on
No.
here. The children are watching. Um, you see a lot. Like
Yeah,
you said, I've seen arguments. I've seen arguments. I've seen things that aren't made for TV. Well, shit, they are made for TV, just not for children to see on TV.
Yes.
I see. It's almost like
I
you're
mean,
going through your deck of cards trying to figure out what can I share. But no, we get the
Right.
exactly like mentally, like, can I say that? But
yeah.
I can honestly say though, the one thing that you that I that I love to see that brings back a childhood memory for me exactly is the kids asking you to blow the horn. Like I
That's it.
remember doing that as a kid on the school bus. And when you see children mimic that now, especially now with day and
Yes.
age of the iPad kids, the tablet kids, but they're literally like asking you to blow the horn. That
I smile
warrant
every
that
time.
I smile
I'm like,
and like, oh my God, yes. That is an actual child that pays attention and sees the truck
that
and
was
like,
raised
gets
right.
yeah, and gets excited like, when they see trucks. So it brings a smile to my heart. Just and even now, me being a mom, my kids are grown now,
Mhm.
but being a grandmother and my grandkids, they see that and they'll see their mom, or their dad do it, so they mimic that. So it's like with me being in the truck, there's like, okay, I love that for them to be able to be children and experience that. And with my kids experiencing it's hard, but it's not hard at the same time. And like we say, the military mentally prepared us as far as being away from our families and being on the road. And it takes a lot. Like I've said, being a female at the time, being a wife, I actually don't want to talk about him, but I actually taught my ex-husband on how to drive and helped him get his CDL license as far as driving. So we would literally do and it was to the point where he was on the truck with me, riding with me till where we were doing solo drives. No, we weren't doing teams.
Okay.
We
Wow.
did teams sometimes, but most times it's like we were going the same routes. We
Right.
might have been doing different pickups, but we were literally on the same route. So it's like as we were going to the rest areas, we were like parked side by side.
Yeah.
So that was a fun part at the time. But I think getting back to it, it's not, I feel like it's something that I miss. I did talk to Amani about it. I was like, because I'm working now with Publix warehouse. And I was just telling her the way my schedule is, I was literally considering doing it like on my off days, the weekend I have off, because I have that 4-day stretch. And I was like, hey, I could do a turnaround, do a drop and turn around and come back home within 4 days. It's not a problem for me. I love driving. I love it and I hate it all at the same time.
It
Let
is
me
a
put that out
love-hate
there.
relationship. I don't
It
care
is
where you are,
definitely a
what you're
love-hate
doing, but it
relationship.
is.
So Asia, let's talk about that. I mean, what is it like being pregnant and driving? Also, tarping. Do you tarp with the flatbed as well?
I don't tarp, thank goodness, because then I wouldn't do it. But
Hard as hell.
it is. I have tarped a couple of loads, but I was like, no, that's where it comes in, where you have to advocate for yourself. I will say, going back to the what do you see on while you're driving, I see a lot of people trying, once they see a cute face in that truck, they don't expect that. They do try to holler at you, or they try to say that something's wrong with your trailer and try to get you to pull over. And you gotta be safe. I mean, you gotta make sure that like there's nothing wrong, or I mean, I can push it until I get to the next, either to my drop location or to a next
A
safe
safe area.
spot. Yes. You're not gonna get me to pull this truck over. I don't care who you are, unless you're my, unless you're the person that signs my checks for this load. I'm not stopping. So there is, I mean, there are some concerns that you have to worry about. There's also some concerns, I will say, being pregnant. When they say that he sits on your bladder and you gotta pee every time, there's a lot of times when we make it to the rest stop or to a truck stop. Like there's a lot of times where I've had to just pull over and either
Thank
Do
God
what
for
you got to
that.
do.
right. Thank God for the
Toilets,
toilets.
though.
I know. But sometimes when you're at the spot, look, listen.
So I learned from another male driver, a portable toilet is your best friend.
You can't do it in a day cab though.
Like hell, you can't. Anyway,
I have.
a portable toilet is, and that's another thing with military training. You know, learn how to go to that tree line, not being afraid to do that at all, because it's like I can't. You know, it was like your bladder and you don't get along. Like you know, at that time, especially. I used to have the worst time doing traffic. It's like you could be driving and not thinking about having to pee or anything.
And it just hit you all at once.
But you hit traffic, it's like traffic and you're like, I know you're lying. So trying to find somewhere to pull over is like, that was my worst.
Or truck-friendly spot.
A truck-friendly spot, pull over some of the road. So I did
That's
learn
really
from
standing on business right there, isn't it? Standing on business, 10 toes. Yeah, you got to do it.
And but I learned from another truck driver about purchasing a portable toilet, and I was like, "Is that a thing?" And really found out that that was a thing.
And those shiwis don't really work.
And
What?
they were
The
saying
who?
best thing.
The shiwis, they don't really work.
What's that?
So it's like a funnel for girls to kind of mimic guys, so we wouldn't have to like completely take their pants down or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
you know how men have it easy where they can, excuse my French, piss in a bottle.
Yes.
So a shiwi was a contraption that was made, an apparatus that a female can use.
Yes. But it don't really work that well.
I get the picture. That's awesome. So what's your most embarrassing trucking moment?
Ooh.
Not the shiwis, is it?
No, not the shiwis. I can tell you my husband's, but
honestly, okay, it was embarrassing. Well, one of my embarrassing moments, and it was funny all at the same time because I did it to myself. I was in Pennsylvania. Amani laughed at me. Oh my gosh, she laughed at me so hard. I was in Pennsylvania. It was raining. I'm literally trying to run from where I parked. I was at a Love's truck stop actually. And I'm trying to run from the truck to run inside to go. It was a long day. I was fussing at her because I was like, you sent me up to the gods. I felt like I was in a class that day, picking up this trailer. And I grabbed all my stuff to go shower, grab something to eat, and I grabbed everything but my keys.
Oh no.
So I locked myself out of the truck.
Oh no.
Oh my God. So I say it was funny and embarrassing because here I am trying to get in the truck without having to call the police. Well, and at the time, police like, oh, we can't help you. So I'm like, oh my God, I literally just took a shower, about to get soaking wet all over again, trying to get in this truck. So we came up with the bright idea to open the hatch on the sleeper, because on one side you open the hatch and you can push up the bunk
Mhm.
and the truck.
Wow.
So the issue came with how to get up in that hatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Military training.
no, that didn't work
Dang.
because literally, so the way the hatch is, it's in there, but you have to like it's this little crawl space, like it's literally as big as, so it's literally about this big.
Right.
Mhm.
I was a lot tinier
The
then.
bottom-
I
the
was
bottom
about
floor.
145 pounds, 150 at the time. So it's like I can try to climb up on the tower, but it's like pulling myself up in there to push the bed up. So I found this other truck driver. It was a guy. And he was like, "Are you sure this is your truck?" I'm like, "No, listen, I'm the driver." He was like, "Nah, you too pretty to be a driver. Sir, get your mind out the gutter and push me up in this hatch so I can get in my truck." And he was
Wow.
like, he said, "Listen, I can call my dispatcher. You can talk." So I had to call her, and she was telling me, like, "Hey, I just need you to help her get in the truck. Like, please." It was like, it's her truck, it's her vehicle. So we had to literally jimmy the lock and pop open this hatch. It was funny because he was laughing, I was laughing. He put me on Facebook Live.
Oh gosh.
He was like,
Really?
"Y'all." Yes, he had me on his Facebook Live. He was already on Facebook. He was like, "Yeah, I just met this female truck driver," and he's like, "I'm helping her break into her truck." I'm like, "Don't put me on there like that." But
Man, you're having too much
it
fun.
was it was so embarrassing, but it was like funny and embarrassing. But he got me in the truck to where I could push the bed up and get in there and get the keys. But mind you, trust me, it never happened again because I learned to have two keys,
Yep.
one in a hidden spot under the truck and then one inside the truck, just in case that ever happened again.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. I've done that. I locked the keys in, but I've never been able, or would I be able to fit through there? Probably. I never would have thought of that. Well, most of the time I was in a day cab, but great story, man. How about you, Asia? The reason why I mention is because if people get into the industry, and they're saying, "Man, I'm just not cut out for it," or you have that moment where you feel like, "Man, I just can't do this anymore." You see that you're not alone. The other people have hard days. They have embarrassing moments that happen, and it's part of the industry. One driver told me once. He says, "You stay in this business long enough, everything happens to you."
Yeah.
It's
How
never
about
a dull
you?
moment. There's never a dull moment. It's very humbling for sure. I mean, like I said, the first job I had on the civilian side was construction, or working for a construction company, and I had no idea. I was a city girl. I had no idea about dirt or getting logs up out of the woods. So I was like, "Oh, it only rained a little bit," and Cody was with me. My husband was with me. He's been trucking his whole life, like even when he was in diapers, because his dad's been trucking. So I learned a lot from my husband, thankfully. But I'm very stubborn, and I got to do it my own way. Um, so I was like, "Oh, there's gravel, there's rocks, I should be able to." And I was empty. I know. I learned real
You
quick.
didn't learn that from MRAP training?
I mean, but those tires have different where those differentials, you can lock them out. You can do a lot of things to get unstuck, right? Not so much on the civilian side. I got stuck, and Cody was like, "I told you." I didn't even get 30 feet off of the gravel pad, and we were just stuck like Chuck. And thankfully, and it's raining.
Being stuck with gravel is
And it's raining. So we went and looked at all the equipment to see what did have keys in it and what we could get that truck and trailer out of. So that was kind of embarrassing. A couple other things, just simple stuff like you get complacent. It don't matter who you are, what you're doing. There's times where you get complacent. So you go and you think you did a tug test, or if you're on the phone and something's got you distracted from your normal routine of unloading or whatever you do, you get distracted and you forget to do a tug test, or you forget to roll up your landing gear, or you forget to roll them down, or I mean, just there's so much stuff and it's embarrassing, but you're like, I hope nobody's seen that, but it is embarrassing.
Or you
Good
forget
tip
to
for
slap
that.
your hand on the back.
I go up to another driver and I ask them for, some advice, and I know I interrupt their work, their routine. I know what they're doing. Probably they're disconnecting or uncoupling. And when I walk away, and when I finish the conversation, I look at what they've done and see if I could help out. Because when I walk away and somebody helped you and you mess up their routine and they pull they don't disconnect the airlines or they forget to put the landing gear down, help them out because they helped you out. So just a little
Yeah.
tip
Yep.
out there. So yeah, I know that, man. It's you get in that routine, somebody calls you, takes your mind away from the present. So yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Great stuff. I mean, thanks for sharing that. I know we're on a limited amount of time. What advice would either of you share with young women out there get into the trucking industry? They're thinking about it. They're saying, "Man, should I do this or not?" It seems bigger than me because when you stand beside those trucks, they're huge. But when you're driving, you're like 2 inches in the mirror, right?
Yes.
Yes. My advice, honestly, I would tell anybody, and I even say that now with the job that I do, you know, with the job that I currently do now, I always tell people, one, safety first. Think about the bigger picture on why you're doing what you do, but also love what you're doing. But at the same token, I tell folks, if you're looking at it as a job, just a job and not in a business aspect, work the job. Don't let the job work you.
Yeah.
That is my biggest thing. Like, even if you are, owner operator, still when you're in that truck at that time and you're hauling your load, you work the job, don't let the job work you. Because, and I say that in a sense of, a lot of people let their jobs work them where they feel like they're overworked. And if you look at it as just, hey, me going to work, making my money, doing what I have to do, and during my off time, it's my off time. I'm going to degress. I'm going to relax. I'm not going to think about work, because our mind is are constantly going, whether we're at rest, so it's like try to figure out that happy medium.
Yes.
And it's hard work, but it's not hard work at the same token. And have your person. Like, if you literally have your person and someone and have somebody that you feel that you can call and you can talk to be that person to bring you back to that medium, not the high, not the low, but that happy medium. And she calls me, I've called her. Like, Amani was always my person, like no matter what, she was my person. And a lot of folks say, oh well, I have my spouse and I have my this. I honestly,
I still have
I
a work husband. So.
yeah, I didn't call at the time when I was married. I couldn't call my spouse because it's like
We work opposite schedules.
we work opposite schedules, sometimes the same schedule, but it's certain things that, even with being in the industry, before he started driving, he didn't really get the concept of what I was actually going through on that road, and he wasn't getting that understanding. And he was just like, I don't understand why you feel this way. I don't understand why you feel like that. But when he started driving, he understood why. If I called him like, hey, I need you to pick up the phone if it's late at night, and I don't like driving at night, just even if I just hear you breathing, like just knowing that somebody was there,
Yes.
or somebody was being that support and that barrier, like it was okay.
Yes.
So, and a lot, if you've never been in the industry, or even if you have a significant other that's never been in that industry, find someone that is, or that has been, to be that happy medium for you. Because just like on a regular job, if they've never worked in that industry, they're not going to really understand what it was. So just having a support group and other women that have done it to be there for you. Like, you can have a male friend that's a truck driver, and let that person just be your friend.
Yes.
And someone to talk to, someone to coach you over those bridges, someone to help you get stuck out of that mud. Oh, I had that happen in the truck too. But just having that person, like that's like my biggest thing, because it's a lot. It can be stressful,
Yes.
it can be challenging, it can be depressing, it can be all of those things.
Questioning
But
why you got into it, or
yeah,
you need to get
oh
out
yeah,
of
you
it.
question that a lot. But when you have that happy medium person that can just say,
You got
hey,
it.
I got you.
Mhm.
You know, you did this for a reason. You're doing this for a reason. Like, she calls me, I call her. She's like, girl, let me tell you, you know, just and somebody to vent to, like, yeah. And
Yeah.
prayer
I know
is
exactly what
powerful.
you're talking about. I got a great support. My wife, she's man, there's no word that can describe. It's just someone that's there for you all the time. It's like sometimes your sleep schedules are off because your work schedule, and there you are, 4 in the morning. You know, they got to go to bed, but they're
Yeah.
running low on sleep because you're just walking in the door. Dogs are barking. I mean, it could be chaos. You know, just coming home, and then the boss wants to call you, even after you already left.
It's like, dang, did you? Yeah. And it like I said, it's a challenge, but you know, if you're doing it for the love of it, and you're doing it,
For
you
your
know,
family,
for your
for your
family, for your
kids.
kids, then you know you will be more successful for it. And
Yes.
I tell people
Less likely to give
that's
up.
it, a lot less likely to give up on it, because they're doing it
It is
for
hard.
that.
It's challenging, but the grass isn't always greener. I will
Talk,
No.
say,
talk to us. Yeah, what you got?
uh, like I've jumped from companies to companies, and they're all like, oh well, we offer you this kind of enrollment bonus or blah blah, but it might not have all the good things. Like, I mean, you might have less home time with your family, or it might be more. I mean, there's pros and cons to every job
Yeah.
out there, especially trucking jobs. And I mean, if you find a company that's willing to work with your schedule, stick with it. There might be some headaches along the way, but every job's gonna have a headache. And I mean, if if that's the case, then I mean, you just gotta do what, like she said, do what you love, put your heart and soul into it, and then it will be rewarding for you and your family. Um,
And just know all money ain't good money.
right. More money, more problems. It's not all about money.
And read the
So
fine print.
it's about home time and less hassles. Thankfully, when I found out that I was pregnant, they didn't, they couldn't kick me to the can, or kick me to the curb, but they at the end where I would say, okay, I'm coming up on 8 months. I got to go to the doctors every once a week. Can we slow down from 12 hours to 10 hours, or can we go from 10 hours to 8 hours? Can we do, instead of 2 loads a day, can I do 1 load a day? And they'd be like, yeah, we can do it. And then, I mean, at the day, the next load, oh well, can you go pick up a rock load after this? No, I'm only doing 1 load. And if y'all don't like that, here's the keys. I was looking for a job when I found this one, you know? But it is challenging. At the beginning, I didn't think I could do it, but through power of prayer and like your memory verses, like Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, or strengthens me. So if you got this, I'm a very advocate. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
You just got to put your mind into it.
This is beautiful. It's been a great conversation. You guys are talking about a lot of things that run through my head when I'm out there. I mean, it's amazing that you guys are doing some of the same things. So why can't we all be on the same page? I think there should be just a neutral ground. I mean, people say, "Oh, neutral. That's nothing." Well, you from driving, you know, you need that neutral, that clutch. You need that. It's very
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why can't we have a point where we all come down and just get the job done, get the goods and services to people that they need so that they can take care of their families, and take out all the fighting and arguing. Let's push that aside. There's a lot of that going on, I know, on social media and whatnot. But when it comes to trucking, we don't need all that. We can support each other, take the time to help each other, showing kindness. You know, one of the things I want to push is positivity in the industry. That's how you get home. keep thinking positive. You think negative, you're going to be stuck out there with those negative thoughts. So things start to turn around when you start thinking positive. So
They definitely do.
yeah. So thank you guys for putting this show together. I know it's been hard. I know the schedules have been difficult, and you guys pushed through on that as well. Thank you so much for being a part of ATA. Like you're saying, we couldn't have got this together without them putting this show together, introducing us together, and working out these schedule conflicts so that we can be together and share this story with many other truckers out there. So I really appreciate that.
Love it. No problem.
Thank you
I
for having me.
appreciate you guys doing it. And
Yes.
it's literally a real eye opener for a lot of people. But, I like the fact that it's more support forums coming as far as with truck drivers, female truckers, and a lot of things. And just not doing it for the social media aspect. Like, oh, yeah, I'm a truck driver. Look at me. No, it's not all about that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of folks would ask me, even when I was driving, like, why you don't post and why you don't, because that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for livelihood. I'm doing this not for myself. Like, yeah, I might post a picture of me in my truck or me on my day to day, but I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it to go viral. I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it for the gram.
For the trope.
TikTok. Like, no, I'm doing this because it's something that I love to do. It's something that I have fun doing. And, if I could go back and do it again, even part-time, I definitely would. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this completely off the table. And anyone that has asked me about it, as far as like, would you do it again? Absolutely.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm like, because this is an experience. I'm like, and if you love to travel, like, hey,
You gotta be a little crazy to do it, but just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your experiences. Even if you're not trucking, you're still pushing forward, helping people pull loads every day by sharing your experience and your stories. So conversations like this matter because they give people an honest look at what life is really like for women in trucking and so many others that have challenges. There's opportunities, there's the sacrifices, and there's success stories that we can share amongst ourselves and for other people to enjoy. So a huge thank you to you guys, Shermila, William, and Asia Patrick, for joining us as a part of Auto Women in Trucking series. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that someone out there hears it. And remember, be positive, do your best. And this is Trucking Ray out. Another episode of That's Delivered.